Hi, everyone. My name is Shay Carter, and I'm here to talk to you about key design principles for educators, creating engaging and effective online content. There are 6 key design principles that you can keep in mind when you're designing content for your online course or for your students to engage with online. The first that I want to talk to you about is user-centricity. User-centricity says that we need to design with our students in mind. We need to understand their needs, preferences, and challenges. We need to step outside of ourselves and think about what my students are experiencing as they are going through my content. Some common mistakes that are made regarding user-centricity is not conducting enough research on the students, maybe using analogies or examples that they're unfamiliar with because of their age or culture. Another common mistake is designing the content for myself instead of for my students. So I need to stop and think, what will my students think as they're experiencing this content? The second design principle that we need to think about is consistency. Consistency is where we use consistent design elements like fonts, colors, and button styles. If you're using a learning management system, a lot of times this is done for you within Canvas modules or within Moodle. But if you're designing content on your own, digital content on your own, you want to think through consistent design. Design that makes sense as your students are progressing through your content. Some common mistakes are inconsistent styling among pages, confusing students with changing fonts and changing colors. That leads us to the next design element that we need to talk about, and that's hierarchy. Hierarchy, I have used as an example throughout this presentation. Hierarchy is where we use size, color, and placement to guide students' attention. For example, our titles are larger and bolder than our subtitles and our content information. Some common mistakes is not prioritizing information properly or creating a cluttered and confusing layout. This can confuse students where they don't understand what the most important messages are that you're trying to convey to them. And the next thing that we want to talk about is user control. User control is giving students the ability to navigate at their own pace. So some examples of mistakes for user control. User control can mean overwhelming students with too many options or causing decision fatigue with excessive animated or interactive elements. Flaws for user control can also include overly linear or forced learning pathways. In your content, unless there is a very important reason for a student to navigate through the content in a very specific way, it's a good idea to give students the ability to explore on their and navigate on their own. However, you do want to not overwhelm them with too many options. The next design element that we need to talk about is accessibility. Accessibility ensures that all students, including those with disabilities, can access your content. 1 in 5 people have a disability. There are many ways that you can check your content for accessibility problems, but common mistakes regarding accessibility is neglecting accessibility features. Most learning management systems have accessibility checkers where you can check to make sure that all of your images are alt tagged and that closed captioning and things like that are turned on for your videos. Many disabilities are hidden, and when we don't create content that's accessible, we're excluding some students from the learning experience. I've included a link to a very simple accessibility checklist for UX designers. It's more of a springboarding checklist. There are more in-depth checklists, but This is a good simple checklist if you're not using a learning management system and you just need a simple checklist to go by to make sure that your content is accessible. And then the last thing that we want to talk about is usability. Your content should be easy to use and understand. Some common mistakes is skipping usability testing. Have a colleague or a student take a look at it and explore and see if they're able to move around within the content. And if they are, is it easy for them to do that? Is there anything that's frustrating for them? Some examples of usability errors are hidden or hard to find or difficult menus. Menus that pop up that go off of the screen, menus that pop up that have a lot of text messaging, they're hard to navigate within, or menus that are relatively hidden or are unlabeled, where the student moves through the content but then doesn't know where to go from there. Other things to think about with usability are fonts or colors that are hard to read. If you have students that could possibly be accessing your content using tablets, small touch points on those tablets could be a usability issue. You want to make sure that the touch points are larger so that students, even though they may have small fingers, can still access the touch points. Links that go to the same content in various places within can be confusing for students. If you run into error messages, that can be frustrating for students. And then unlabeled icons can be frustrating for students as well. I've included a link to a UX website that has a lot of different checklists. So these are very in-depth checklists, but if there's something specific that you're looking for, it could be very helpful for you to go through and to help you think, is my content easy to use and easy to understand? Do the students know where they're gonna go to next? Do they understand how to get there and what's expected of them? So that's usability. Those are the 6 design elements that I wanted to talk through with you guys. If you use these design elements within your course, then your students will have a great experience. They'll be able to move through your content easily. And I wanted to go through and just recap these. So user centricity, design with your students in mind. Consistency, use consistent design elements like fonts, colors, and button styles. Hierarchy, use size, color, and placement to guide students' attention to what is most important. User control, give the students the ability to navigate at their own pace. Give them choices, but not too many choices. Accessibility, ensure all students, including those with disabilities, can access your content. And usability, your content should be easy to use and easy to understand. Thank you again for listening, and have a great day.